Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Learning CSGO as a CS Veteran, episode 19, and like I mentioned in the previous episode, I'm going to be focused on DE Mirage for a while, and what I wanted to do is because in the previous episode, I wasn't happy with how I played DE Mirage on the T side. I wanted to watch some demos, get some tips, and just improve my game. So the first thing I did was went and got a game on Mirage again, just to make a checklist of things that I wanted to work on and wanted to improve. The highlights of this game you can see on the screen now. We ended up losing quite heavily, 16-7, but it was actually a good game. I felt personally I played pretty well. We lost a lot of rounds because I played B and they went to do the bomb site a lot, so I wasn't too bothered about my own performance this game, and I just wanted to basically tighten things up, such as angles, knowing the timings of the map, and little things like that. For anyone that is new to this series, I am solo queuing only to Global Elite, so obviously you're going to have losses where your team just didn't perform well, or there's just no communication, or they kept on getting into bomb sites where you weren't playing very easily. That's bound to happen with solo queue, and in these games I expect it to happen. It's always going to happen. As long as I played well individually, I can take something from those games rather than just thinking that was a waste of time, that was a loss. I'll try and take something positive from them.
Short, last one, short.
I'm defusing the bomb.
So as I did previously identify that Mirage was definitely my weakest map on CSGO at the moment, I downloaded a couple of demos. One was Dignitas versus Easy Skins from DreamHack in London, and the other one was a Tyloo game, who are a very good Chinese team. And I just watched both demos and tried to get a few positions. I also watched a few streams and just looked out for little tips I could pick up, really, just because as T side I just wasn't making anything happen. On CT I'm pretty good, I can understand the angles, whereas T I just find it very difficult on this game to actually get the opening kills and make things happen, whereas I used to find that pretty easy in 1.6. I find it very difficult in CSGO. So that's all the highlights I'm going to show for the first game on DE Mirage. We did end up losing 16-7, so quite a big loss. However, I did play pretty well. I was top frag on the whole server with a score of 29-16, so not too bad, but last place in our team had 4 kills and second to last only had 5 kills. So I think the reason we lost that game so heavily is just the CT side, we didn't get the frags. So on the screen now is the first demo I watched, which, as I said before, was Dignitas versus Easy Skins. Here you can see Dignitas starting out a CT side, and I did a really nice thing on pistol. They had Rattlesnake there flashing over the wall and 2 people pushing through for the kill. That's obviously a very, very nice thing to do, but there's not a chance in hell I'm going to get anyone to be able to do that with me on a solo queue matchmaking server. So what you can see on the screen now is an overview of mid and how Dignitas just took it aggressively. That's one thing I wanted to get off this demo, was how Dignitas opened up bomb sites where they were defensive, waiting for people to push into them, or whether they were aggressive. You can see here AZ pushing aggressively into the window room and a couple people watching short while the rest of them pushed mid ramp. So that's one thing I'm going to do in the next game, is play very aggressive on T side. Another very popular thing that I saw Dignitas do was just take a bomb site like in the situation here, but rather than just rush in after they got the kills, they still sit back, play very methodical, very defensive, flash and smoke and wait for more picks. Because what happens quite often in matchmaking is a few kills will go down and then people will start running around like headless chickens trying to get more kills. If you actually just sit back and don't let the CTs return those kills, you've got a much better chance of winning the rounds. Another great tip that I picked up from this demo was AZ's shot here. So as you can see, he just destroyed Rattlesnake through the smoke. He also did that 2 more times in this game. I'll show you one example now of him doing it again to Fearless, who was opening from that room. So as you can see, all he does is come mid, waits for the smoke to go down, and just pre-fires a window room. He knows the angle perfectly, he probably already knows the timing perfectly, and he knows to sit back and just wait for a few seconds. And I think if you do this every single matchmaking game, you'll probably get at least 1 kill, because people in matchmaking always use that position. So the next thing I wanted to look at was how they took bomb sites over, where they did it slowly, where they had a lot of set flash and set smokes. And of course I did have a lot of set flash and set smokes, where someone would flash connector, the next person would flash CT spawn and so on. Obviously that's not going to happen in solo queue matchmaking, so it was only a few things I could gain from that. But like this round I thought was quite nice. What he did is came through connector slowly, methodically, smoked out the areas needed to, and you can see Dignitas player here getting a lot of nice kills and opening the bomb site up easily. This was another great round by Kode5. You can see they were going B slowly, they smoked it out, but what they could do is had the set flashes and set nades that they threw, and Kode5 just basically rushed across the bomb site, managed to catch a couple of them off guard, get 3 kills altogether, 2 in the window, 1 in the bomb site, then pushed short and got the AWP here, and just completely destroyed Easy Skins here on this round. So this is a clip from the other demo I watched, which was Tyloo versus Penguins. You can see a Tyloo player here just pushing up mid very aggressively, and it's destroying Penguins. Yes, they were on a eco, but I still think it's quite a nice thing to incorporate into the game. Maybe 1 or 2 rounds out of 15, just push up mid aggressively.
Hello, boy. Hello.
So jumping into game number 2 now. This is the game after I watched all the demos. So what we're trying to do this game is incorporate a few things that I've seen. So try and play a bit more aggressively as T and try that pre-fire at mid. So on the pistol round here, we decided to go towards B. I am of course still solo queuing, and we are playing against a 4-man stack called Swiftside. I had a look at their profiles and it looks like they're a proper team. So on Mirage, it's very important to be a team. You can do a lot more coordinated stuff like I was saying in the demos. So I know straight away it's going to be a pretty hard game.
2 guys kitchen, 2 guys kitchen. Last kitchen.
So onto the anti-eco round here, and as I said previously, I wanted to play more aggressive as T-side and try and get some more entry kills. So I went to the ramp fast because I had a good spawn for it. I know I can get naded and stuff like that, but I thought it was worth the risk, and I managed to get the pick off on the first kill onto A. And from here, we just took over the bomb site with ease and lost no players. So a couple of rounds later now on the first gun round, I have a really good spawn for T-ramp, so I try and get a pick with the AWP into A. As you can see, I got the angles completely wrong. I was aiming too far to the left, so that round by itself was just a learning experience. I went into a server after this game, worked out the timings, and it's definitely feasible to get there before they can and get the shot off. It's just I got it completely wrong that round. But I've learned something already from this round, and it's something I can improve on for my next game on Mirage. So moving on here, what I'm trying to do is smoke mid and do what Asia did in that demo for Dignitas and shoot through the smoke and get the kill. I didn't get the kill this round, and there's also another couple of rounds where I tried to do it and didn't get the kill. However, I did this game do 90 damage in this round even to the AWP in mid, so it's definitely working out. It's just I'm either aiming too low or too high, but that's something that I'll look into, and it's definitely again something that's feasible. So the story of this half was pretty depressing really. We didn't have many people talking in our team. There's only a couple of us talking. Everyone else wasn't really saying anything, and when they died they weren't even saying where they got killed from. And as we're playing against a 4-man stack, or it might even be a 5-man stack, I'm not too sure, they were very good with their communications. You can tell they rotated correctly. They knew where we were a lot of the time because their teammates were calling for them. They were doing pushes behind us, and it was just a very frustrating half to play. It was just obvious they were flashing for each other, smoking for each other, and we just weren't playing together as a team at all. We did manage to piece together a few rounds early on. What I want from Mirage is about 6 rounds. If we get 6 rounds, I'm pretty happy, and we ended up getting 5 in the end. So it wasn't too bad, and I knew that if we played well as CT, got the pistol round and got the first gun round, we could still go on to win this game, or at least draw. So onto the CT pistol round here, and this is where it really starts to show that they are a pre-made stack and we're just 5 players solo queuing. So they rushed Palace and A-ramp here. I got completely caught out. I thought Palace was guarded when it wasn't. I got headshot and then they rushed me and I died, and they were doing a very nice coordinated rush. They had smokes and flashes and they just overran us. So losing the CT pistol round and the 2 anti-eco rounds after obviously is not ideal. As you can see, someone on our team already typing "it's GG" and saying GG on chat. Honestly, never do that. It's just bad manners for your team, and also it just shows a lack of confidence. Anyway, I still had a belief that we could still get something out of this game. You have to believe it. Honestly, if you ask me deep down, I probably said it's unlikely, but you have to have confidence and believe it's still possible. So onto the first gun round here. We had to win this round. This was vital. It was do or die, and I pushed mid there, got a kill with the M4, and then they started rushing towards A. You can see the smoke go down there. It was pretty important that I got my kills here because I was playing alone at A, so I managed to get a good 3-man there before getting picked off, but unfortunately that wasn't enough and we still lost the round. So here we had our backs completely against the wall. It was 14-5 in their favour. We simply couldn't afford to just eco, because even if we did eco and then be able to buy the rest of the rounds, it's likely they'd slip at least 1 round in somewhere. So we force bought here. What I decided to do was get a mag 7 and play close, because they were coming A-ramp and Palace quite a bit. So I just did a couple of flashes there, got close to the wall and hoped that they rushed me. So the call came in that was a B rush, but I could hear one at Palace and one at ramp. So I stayed and managed to get those 2 kills, and then killed one onto short with the M4. The last guy I could hear was top mid, so I'm not too sure where the B core was coming from, but we still won the round anyway. So we're making a comeback here. You never know. 6-14 is still possible. CT on Mirage, even if we are against a 4-man stack, we can still hopefully come back and maybe get something out of this game. You got to keep the confidence. So the next round they did rush to B, and in the situation it's now a 2v2. I get the kill onto the guy at car and get shot through the window. It is now a 1v1 situation. The enemy has 5 HP and my teammate has 100 HP. Unfortunately he doesn't play it too well and ends up getting picked, making the score 15-6 in their favour. So that's going to make it very hard for us to come back. We have to win 9 rounds in a row without losing any to get a draw. So the smoke start raining down on A, and it's clear that it is an A rush. I managed to get that one pick onto the guy in Palace, and I see the second guy mid. Every single shot I took at this guy, I was certain I killed him. You can see me flick away, but I ended up missing 3 times somehow and getting picked, which was pretty annoying because obviously we have to win this round. But luckily my teammates managed to pull off some good kills, and we still won the round. We are still all low money, so you can see I have a mag 7 again. They end up coming Palace and ramp on an eco. I get a couple of picks and then get picked up at ramp. It was actually a very close round. We only just managed to win it with one person left alive with 12 HP, but luckily we did, and that makes the score 8-15 in their favour. So we managed to keep the rounds coming. At this stage you can see it's 10-15 in their favour, but we do win this round. So all we're doing is taking 1 round at a time. We know that if we just keep a decent atmosphere up on team say, on team chat, we can still hopefully get a few rounds, because it is matchmaking. Every single round matters. If you only win by 1 round, it's a lot better than losing by 10 rounds. So every single round matters in matchmaking, so it's still good to, even if you think you're going to lose, just try and edge a few more rounds out. It can make a big difference.
Come on guys, last round.
So jumping ahead a little bit, as you can see it is now 14-15 in their favour, so we've managed to make a great comeback. And if you heard that guy say come on guys last round, funnily enough that was a guy who called out the premature GG a bit earlier, so there you go, you can take a bit from that. So anyway, this round it's vital that we made something happen. You can see my teammate gets picked off by an AWP at mid very early on, making it a 4v5. Obviously that's the worst case scenario. We lost a lot of control by that. My teammate does return a kill onto a guy at ramp, making it a 4v4. What's happening at this stage is pretty unclear because I'm not getting any calls from my teammates, so I'm just assuming that no one knows where they are. I can see on my radar mid is not covered, so I've got to assume there are at least 2 people mid. So what I'm doing is just holding this angle, marking an angle. I've called on the microphone that I'm watching connector, but they can still get up the connector, so hopefully the guy in A is playing in a defensive position. So all I'm doing here is playing very defensive, just waiting for someone to walk into my crosshair, which eventually does happen. So the first guy peeks here, I managed to get the kill and then follow that up on the AWP and connector. I then throw this grenade which does 60 HP damage to someone, but then I get picked from Palace. So that leaves us now in a 2v2 situation with my teammates. So you have this guy at CT spawn, and his position is vital. They do not know he's there, so what I wanted him to do here was push around. Obviously I'm not going to speak to him and tell him what to do, but that's what I wanted in my head for him to do, because that would have been the smart thing. He does get flashed and then pushed up the ramp, so here he is, he's pushing up a ramp. It's vital that he gets this kill.
Throwing flashbang. Deploying flashbang.
And he does. So it's now a 2v1 situation. We shouldn't really be losing this. We could just smoke and flash him out, and my teammate pushes him on here, which is probably the right thing to do, and he gets the kill, and it's 15-15. So there you go, coming back from 15-6 to actually drawing. It was a great feeling, it was a great game. I didn't actually get much opportunity to use what I learnt in the demos, but one thing I have done is got used to Mirage a lot more, so I'm playing more confidently, I understand the map better. So for me it's a great feeling that I actually have made progress on this map.
Well played. Good team, by the way.
So that's it for this video guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please leave me a like. I don't usually ask for that, but because I've been making a lot of videos recently, I just want to see that people are actually enjoying them and get you something out of them, hopefully. So hopefully you stick around, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one guys. Thank you very much.